Top 5 Creepy Haunted Bridges. Number 5. The Old Dalton Bridge, Texas. Located near the cities of Denton and Copper Canyon, Texas, the Old Dalton Bridge was originally built by the King Iron Bridge Manufacturing Company as a way to transport people and cattle. Its name comes from Alton, an abandoned town in Denton County. The bridge remained in use until 2001, when it was closed to vehicle traffic. Although listed on the National Register of Historical Places, the Old Dalton Bridge is better known today as the Goatman's Bridge. According to legend, a successful goat breeder named Oscar Washburn began to call himself the Goatman. Apparently, in order to drum up business, Washburn hung a sign on the bridge reading, "This way to the Goatman." The local KKK was not at all pleased. In August 1938, masked Klansmen abducted Washburn and hung him from the bridge. However, when the murderers looked down to make sure that Washburn was dead, they could not see his body at all. Angered by this, the Klan members returned to Washburn's home and killed his entire family. Since then, people interested in ghost stories have reported seeing abandoned cars near the bridge, mysterious lights, and even the ghostly figure of a goat herder leading his flock across the bridge. A common legend trip before 2001 involved people driving across the bridge with their lights off. This action supposedly caused the Goatman to appear. Another variation claims that if you honk your horn twice on Halloween, the Goatman's eyes will materialize. Number 4. Helf's Bridge, Michigan. The story of the infamous Helf's Bridge in Algoma Township, Michigan, revolves around the fictional figure of Elias Frisk. Back in the mid-19th century, several towns in Kent County experienced a wave of child abductions. One of the hardest hit was Lathamville. In order to combat the menace, townspeople called upon the elderly and seemingly kind-hearted Frisk, who surprised many by preaching a fire and brimstone gospel that blamed demons for the recent disappearances of so many children. Despite Frisk's strange preaching, the townspeople trusted him to watch their remaining children as they searched the woods for the bodies of the missing kids. This was a major mistake, for Frisk, who was driven to madness by the pungent stench of the dead and skinned children whom he had previously murdered, killed the town's remaining children one by one and threw their bodies into the River Rouge. Upon returning from their failed search, the townspeople discovered the newly murdered bodies of their children underneath a new bridge that spanned the river. After capturing Frisk, who blamed his actions on demons, the townspeople lynched the old man by hanging him from the bridge itself. According to the legend, Frisk's body was quickly snapped up by the river below. In truth, Helf's Bridge is nothing more than a narrow metal walkway that crosses a tributary of the River Rouge, not the river itself. This has not stopped the many stories from expanding, however. Most simply claim that the bridge is supernaturally active, with inexplicable vapor and orbs predominating among collected evidence. One captured image proclaims that a floating noose can be seen. Number 3. Donkey Lady Bridge, Texas. Near Loop 1604 in San Antonio, Texas, there sits a small bridge that crosses Elm Creek. To most observers, this bridge is the definition of ordinary, there's nothing demonstrably unique about it. In truth, this is the Donkey Lady Bridge. According to Texas folklore, during the mid-19th century, a Texas settler family lived near what would become the bustling metropolis of San Antonio. One day, the son of a wealthy merchant ran afoul of the family stocky and began to savagely beat it. Realizing that their livelihood was at stake, the pioneer family hurled rocks at the wealthy young man. Incensed, the merchant's son vowed revenge. Sometime during the following night, the young man returned to the farm, except this time he had an armed posse with him. The thugs set fire to the family's home and did not allow any of the other settlers to interfere. When the husband tried to escape, he was shot dead. As for his wife, most of her body was thoroughly burned, but she managed to escape to nearby Elm Creek, where she disappeared forever. Since that tragic day, The bridge over Elm Creek has become a popular destination for legend strippers. In particular, it is believed that if you park in the middle of the bridge at night and turn your lights off, the donkey lady will appear. Most accounts of this ghost depict her as a hideous human-animal hybrid with loose, baggy skin. Number 2. The Haunted Bridge, Fritton, Cheshire. Built sometime in the 1850s, the so-called Haunted Bridge on Fritton Lane is little more than a small footbridge that allows travelers to reach Fritton Castle. Like many castles in England, Fritton Castle is reputably haunted. The castle is undeniably strange, for in 1859, stonemason John Watson was commissioned to create a 3.7-meter-tall stone elephant that was intended to act as a beehive. Today, the outlandish statue is a tourist attraction. The weirdness of the castle itself pales in comparison to the haunted bridge. One of the more common stories about the bridge claims that if you walk under it and keep your eyes focused straight ahead, the ghost of one of the castle's former servant women will appear. Other stories claim that instead of seeing the ghostly servant, visitors will hear her walking on the bridge above them. An even more disturbing belief is that anyone who sees the woman's ghost will be dead within the year. Number 1. Poinsett Bridge, South Carolina. In Greenville County, on Route 107 and just off of Highway 11, sits the Poinsett Bridge, supposedly one of the most haunted structures in all of South Carolina. Made entirely of stone, the Poinsett Bridge is believed to be haunted by the ghost of a young man who died in a car accident during the 1950s. Another popular story claims that the spirit of a slave who was lynched haunts Poinsett Bridge. The fact that the Poinsett Bridge is one of the oldest bridges in the entire southern U.S. makes such rumored history all the more plausible. Whatever the true cause of the hauntings, visitors to Poinsett Bridge have claimed to have experienced everything from phantom noises to the presence of floating orbs and strange, inexplicable lights. One paranormal research investigation recorded several EVPs in the vicinity of the bridge. 2 recordings even provided names Abram and Willie.